Mega dams. In this video lecture, we are going to cover the following points. Dams are some of the most impressive and well-noticed aspects of modern infrastructure. Throughout history, they have played an important role in the growth and expansion of civilization. The first ever dam dates from between 2950 to 2750 BC, built in Egypt to collect water for agriculture, and this continued to be the main purpose of dams until the late 19th century AD. It was only at the beginning of the 20th century that exploitation of water for hydroelectric energy began with the construction of the first mega dams like the Aswan in Egypt and the colossal Hoover Dam in the United States. What are mega dams? There is no universal definition of what qualifies as a mega dam. However, as a general rule, they are large structures over 15 meters in height and generating over 400 megawatts of power on an average annually. Based on the above mentioned criteria, there are more than 5,700 mega dams in the world, and amongst them, there are more than 300 which are giants having a height of more than 150 meters. Countries having more number of mega dams. China has over 23,000 mega dams. The USA is the second most dammed country in the world with some 9,200 mega dams. It is followed by India, Japan, and Brazil. Why are mega dams built? Mega dams are built because they generate hydroelectricity. The dam reservoir provides water for irrigation. They control stream regime, consequently preventing floods. They help in facilitating waterways by diverting water. They provide potable and domestic water supply, and they are tourist attractions. Largest dams in the world. Based on height of the dam, the largest dam in the world is Jinping 1, which is built in China on the river Yalong. Based on hydroelectric power generation capacity, the largest dam in the world is the Three Gorges Dam of China, which is built on river Yangtze. Based on reservoir storage capacity, the largest dam is the Kariba Dam, which is built over Zambezi River in the countries of Zambia and Zimbabwe. Mega dams in India. After independence, India has made a lot of progress in dams and water reservoirs. Today, India is one of the world's most prolific dam builders. There are around 4,300 large dams already constructed and many more in the pipeline, almost half of which are more than 20 years old. These dams are major attraction of tourists from all over India. 5 major dams in India are as follows. The Tehri Dam is the highest dam in India. It is built on river Bhagirathi in the state of Uttarakhand. The Bhakra Dam, described as the new temple of resurgent India by the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. This dam is built on river Satluj and is located in the state of Himachal Pradesh. The Sardar Sarovar Dam, built on river Narmada in the state of Gujarat. Hirakud Dam. This dam is built on Mahanadi River in Odisha. Nagarjun Sagar Dam. This is the world's largest masonry dam and is built on river Krishna in the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Negative impacts of mega dams. Even though mega dams are an important part and marvel of modern infrastructure, and have contributed in the growth of civilization, its negative impacts cannot be ignored. These impacts can be studied under two major heads, that is, environmental impacts and socio-economic impacts involving displacement of people. Environmental impacts of megadams. Submergence of land. Construction of megadams leads to submergence of valleys and low-lying sites, which are often of exceptional geological, ecological, cultural, and therefore touristic value. Generation of methane gas. Megadams contribute to climate change by generating methane gas. As reservoirs fill, upstream forests are flooded, eliminating their function as carbon sinks. As the drowned vegetation decomposes, decaying plants in man made reservoirs release methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. That makes reservoirs sources of emissions, particularly those in tropical forests where there is dense growth. Methane has 28 to 34 times more atmospheric warming potential than carbon dioxide. It is estimated that greenhouse gas emissions from dams amount to about a billion tons annually, making it a significant global source. As reservoirs rise and fall, vegetation continues to grow and rot on fertile silty soil and on the reservoir's surface, leading to continued emissions throughout the dam's lifetime. Wastage of water. Mega dams have large reservoirs. Since more surface area of the water gets exposed to the sun, reservoirs result in much more evaporation than the natural flow of the river before the existence of the dam. It is estimated at least 7% of the total amount of fresh water needed for human activities evaporates from the world's reservoirs every year. This effect is made worse in hot regions. There is even evidence that dams increase water use and promote water wastage by creating a false sense of water security. Reduction in water quality. Man-made reservoirs of mega dams trap fertilizers that run into the water from surrounding land. In addition, in some developing countries, sewage flows directly into the reservoirs. This kind of pollution can result in algae bloom that suck the oxygen out of the water, making it acidic and potentially harmful to people and animals. Still water in large man-made lakes is warm at the top and cold at the bottom, which can also affect water quality. While warm water promotes the growth of harmful algae, the cold water that is often released through turbines from the bottom of a reservoir may contain damaging high mineral concentrations. In some cases, water in man-made reservoirs is of such bad quality that it is not even fit to drink. Mega dams also have risk of sediment buildup. When water rushes through a dam and its internal turbines, it can create a great spot for sediment layers to be trapped and congregate, which then can pollute the water and disrupt the ecology of the water environment. Alteration of ecosystem. Mega dams alter both aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. Downstream river ecosystems rely not only on water but also on sediments, both of which are held back by big dams. As solid materials build up in a man-made reservoir, downstream land becomes less fertile and river beds can become deeper or even erode away. Emilio Moran, a professor of geography and environment at Michigan State University in the US, has described sediment loss of 30 to 40% as a result of large dams. Ecosystems may have adapted to natural flooding, which dams take away. Rushing floodwaters replenish the nutrients in the soil in water, which is beneficial to all plant and animal life in rivers and other waterways. When water is diverted due to a dam, it can greatly disrupt the delicate natural ecosystem. Mega dams also often have a large footprint on land upstream. Aside from displacing human communities, flooding to create a reservoir also kills plants and leaves animals to drown or find new homes. Reservoirs can also further fragment valuable habitat and cut off migratory corridors. Megadams reduce biodiversity and cause extinction of species. Megadams bring changes in the existing ecosystems. Some flora and fauna are able to adapt to the changing conditions, but many will not and could be destroyed in the new environment. Aquatic species, particularly fish, are vulnerable to the impact of dams. After the Aswan High Dam in Egypt was built, scientists noticed a marked decline in fish production around the area, as the amount of nutrients and food was now less than before the dam. The Itaipu Dam, which was constructed on the border between Paraguay and Brazil in the 1970s and 1980s, resulted in a 70% loss of biodiversity. Similarly, after the construction of the Tucuruí Dam that was built in the 80s in the Amazon, there was a 60% drop in productivity of fish. Many fish species rely on the ability to move about freely in a river, be it to seek food or return to where they were born. Migratory species are badly affected by the presence of dams. In 2016, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature reported a 99% drop in catches of sturgeon and paddlefish, both of which are migratory, over a period of 3 decades. Overfishing and river alteration were cited as major threats to the species' survival. A 2018 study predicted that fish stocks on Asia's Mekong River could drop by 40% as a result of dam projects, with consequences not only for biodiversity but for the people whose lives and livelihoods depend on those fish. The stakes for biodiversity are particularly high for animals threatened with extinction, and not only for aquatic species. The Tapanuli orangutan, the Earth's rarest ape, with only 500 individuals left, could finally be pushed to the brink if a planned hydroelectric project in Sumatra, Indonesia, is completed. Dams can literally snuff out species. Erosion of surrounding soil. After the construction of many dams, erosion of the surrounding land has been noticed. The large reservoir at China's Three Gorges Dam has eroded nearby shoreline, which has led to landslides along the side of the reservoir. The Nile Delta has experienced erosion due to the reduction of sediment after the construction of the Aswan High Dam. Much of the sediment has fallen into the reservoir, which means there is less land around to farm and work on. Megadams can induce earthquakes. Earthquakes and volcanic activity can be induced by the weight of the reservoir on nearby fault lines and lubrication of faults by excess water. There are many recorded cases of this effect. The Koyna earthquake in 1967 in Maharashtra is supposed to be triggered by the Koyna Dam. Strong evidence suggests that China's Sichuan earthquake, which killed 80,000 people in 2008, may have been triggered by the Zipping Pool Dam. Mega dams can cause floods. When dams are not properly built or maintained, they can break, leading to flash flooding. In the world's biggest dam disaster, the failure of China's Bankyo Dam killed an estimated 171,000 people in 1975. Dams may also break due to earthquakes. In 1967, due to an earthquake in Koyna, Maharashtra, triggered by the Koyna Dam, the dam broke, leading to a disastrous flood in the area. A dam collapse or break would be an absolute catastrophe, especially from one the size of the Three Gorges Dam or Tehri Dam. It is speculated that if the Tehri Dam, which is located in a seismic zone, collapses due to an earthquake, within 16 hours, the major cities situated on the banks of River Ganga may be washed away. Mega dams and displacement. Though dams have brought economic prosperity to some selected regions, yet their negative socio-economic impacts cannot be overlooked. One of the major issues related to mega dams is the displacement of people. An estimated 80 million people have been displaced by dam projects worldwide. Their fate is largely unknown, but evidence shows that those affected tend to become impoverished and marginalized, and these impacts are long lasting. The development of mega dams has uprooted people not only from homes but homelands to which they may have been tied by old ancestral bonds. Displacement deprives people of many things, some of which are fundamental to their lives, including homes, productive assets, and livelihoods, familiar environments to which skills and practices have been attuned, community networks, and a sense of local belonging. What determines the extent of their deprivation and suffering depends on what they face in their new location and the resources with which they arrive there. If an uprooted community could simply be transplanted from one location to another site that is equally productive, healthy, and desirable, then the deprivation would consist simply of the loss of accustomed place and the stress of relocation. However, the experience of being uprooted by development has typically been very different. The dislocated often find themselves in places where they are treated as threatening outsiders or inferiors, discriminated against or exploited in their vulnerability, and excluded from whatever influence on decision making the incumbent populace has. Dam affected communities have often suffered repression and human rights abuse. In 1982, more than 400 indigenous men, women, and children were massacred to make way for the World Bank's Chicxulub Dam in Guatemala. China's Three Gorges Dam, which is the world's largest hydroelectric power project, displaced more than 1.2 million people. Meroe Dam in Sudan, which is being built by the assistance of the Chinese government, has displaced more than 50,000 people and caused serious human rights violations. In 1996, the construction of the Manwan Dam on the upper Mekong River in China displaced 7,260 people, twice the official estimate. The displacement and resettlement process was plagued by insufficient government oversight, limited financial and technical resources, and a lack of community consultation and social impact assessment to plan for resettlement. Situation in India. According to a study conducted by Nalin Negi and Sujata Ganguly for the University of Bielefeld, Germany, around 50 million people have been displaced in India due to development projects in over 50 years. Of these, dams, mines, industrial development, and others account for over 21 million development-induced internally displaced populations. Tribals are the worst affected when it comes to displacement due to development projects, representing almost 40% of the affected population. This bar diagram shows the people displaced by development projects in India. Thus, dam building is one of the most important causes for development-related displacement. According to a research report, during the last 50 years, some 3,300 big dams have been constructed in India. Many of them have led to large-scale forced eviction of vulnerable groups. In the words of Arundhati Roy, the millions of displaced people in India are nothing but refugees of an unacknowledged war. The attitude of the government towards the displaced people is very callous, as most displaced persons are assetless rural poor, like landless laborers and small and marginal farmers. The tribals are estimated to be more than 40% of the displaced population. Dalits constitute 20% of displaced persons. Displacements due to dams and canals have been traumatic and dehumanizing. The displaced family livelihood, their family kinship systems, cultural identity, and informal social networks were badly affected and disrupted. The condition of the women is even more traumatic. Lack of policy framework and social securities has made them insecure and psychologically very weak. The monetary compensation paid to the displaced is not enough to sustain their livelihoods. The lame assurances by the government has never become a reality and it has led to tragic consequences. The brutality of displacement due to the building of dams was highlighted dramatically during the agitation over the Sardar Sarovar Dam in Gujarat. This agitation is known as the Narmada Bachao Andolan. Activist Medha Patkar, who spearheaded the Narmada Bachao Andolan, has in the past highlighted how building dams lead to dislocation of tribal societies. The Narmada Valley Development Project is expected to have affected the lives of 25 million people. A similar example is the Tehri project, a multi-purpose irrigation and power project in the Ganges Valley, 250 km north of Delhi, located in the Tehri Garhwal district of Uttaranchal. A working group for the environment appraisal of Tehri Dam put the figure of expected internal displacement at 85,600 persons. Resettlements are undertaken on a case-to-case basis. It is clear that mega projects would require the displacement or forced uprooting of substantial population, particularly for hydraulic projects which entail large-scale submergence for reservoirs. Policies. After a long struggle by people's organizations and environmental groups, the protest against displacement grew violent, and the need for a policy and legal framework came into existence in 2007 when the Government of India formulated a national policy for rehabilitation and resettlement by replacing the earlier policy of 2003. Till date, there is no policy which suggests alternatives for displacement. In August 2013, the Government of India came up with a comprehensive Land Acquisition and Resettlement and Rehabilitation Act. The Act attempts to integrate the process of land acquisition with rehabilitation and resettlement, and this will, in turn, bring transparency to the entire process that will put to an end to forcible land acquisitions. The Act is expected to provide fair compensation and rehabilitation and resettlement to farmers, landowners, and livelihood losers. The public purpose for which land can be acquired by the government is also defined. The Act also provides for schools and playgrounds, health centers, roads, and electric connections and assured sources of safe drinking water for displaced families. The role of the Gram Sabha has been clearly stressed and the government has to consult them. The government has to also comply with other laws like Panchayat Extension to the Scheduled Areas Act 1996, the Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Rights Act 2006, and Land Transfer Regulations in Schedule 5 Tribal Areas. Mega dams and women. The World Commission on Dams recommended that dam projects should promote the involvement of women and focus more on gender equity in relocation processes. But 50 years on, realizing these recommendations is proving to be difficult. Firstly, when households are relocated, the compensation process is largely determined by household, and therefore it is the man who is the registered beneficiary of the compensation. In some cases, they have taken the money and run, leaving family members destitute, or used the compensation finance to take additional wives. Secondly, the physical relocation disrupts women's livelihoods as they lose access to the resources they depend on, such as grazing land, non-timber forest products, or grass for artisanal products. In cases where land for land compensation is effective, Male heads of household may receive new plots, but women miss out because they do not hold the land titles. Alternatives to mega dams. There are certain alternatives to mega dams which can be implemented. Revival of traditional systems of water harvesting, construction of check dams, and use of alternative sources of energy. Thank you.